One, because it's hard. It's just really, really, really hard. There's so many elements of the hard, right? But chill out, Reese. There's so many elements of it. One, sometimes it's hard. There's some people it's hard to get started.
Yeah.
Because in your head, you want it to all work right.
Mm-hmm.
But it never gets perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go through this cycle of, I can't get started because it's not perfect yet, but you don't know that it's not going to be perfect, but you keep thinking it's going to be perfect. So you just keep this little cycle going.
Mm-hmm.
Did you change the color, Reese? I don't know what that was. Now we're blue. We'll take the blue.
We're definitely blue, but
This
whatever. It's a blue day.
It's one of them days. It's one of them days.
It's definitely one of those days.
So, while Donnie tries to find her earring.
Found my earring.
See? So some people it's hard to get started.
Yes.
And I want you to talk about the next part, which some people, it's hard to get started. And then it's, after you get started, you got to get momentum. That's hard.
Oh, momentum is, first of all, let me just tell you this.
Why don't you take that off because you took the other one off? Oh, you put another one on.
Them both back on.
It's one of them days.
So it's one
and
of
there's some
days.
people that are watching right now that are saying we've manifested your earring falling off.
Listen, okay, today is not the day to try it. Momentum. Entrepreneurship will expose how little influence you actually have.
For sure.
Yo, we about to do this webinar. It's about to be 1,500 people on there. This is about to go crazy. We got 3 weeks to market. I got 10,000 people on my email list. This is a no-brainer.
No-brainer. It sells itself.
Sells itself. It never sells itself. And it's always a brainer. You fool around with that mindset and you have 12 people on your webinar.
Right.
And only 2 of them stay till the end.
And none of them buy the offer.
And none of them buy the offer. Yeah, momentum is tricky because it comes in spurts. Like, you will get 5 people on your email list as a beginner entrepreneur in one day and think, oh, wow, this is growing. And then you could turn around and have 3 weeks where nobody joins your email list. Small activity as an entrepreneur will give you the false hope that momentum has brewed. The world knows about you. You are popping. You ain't popping yet.
You ain't popping yet.
Even when you're popping, you ain't popping.
Yep.
Right? Like there's always in terms of momentum, something that could have been better. We could have done more. More people could have come. We wanted to do this in a day and it took a week. We wanted to do this in a month and it took a quarter.
Yeah. So it's hard to start for some people.
It is
some
hard
people
to
get
start.
over that.
Mm-hmm. Then
it's hard to get momentum. But
is that number 2 is still
no, this is like 1B.
Okay.
1A, hard to start. 1B, hard to get momentum. But the people who start and get momentum, 1C, is hard to keep the momentum.
Hard to keep the momentum. Like you have to constantly, I don't even know that it's constantly reinventing yourself because you don't have to do that, but you do have to, especially if you're a personal brand, any kind of brand, you have to constantly be aware of your relevancy. You have to stay relevant. So, a vehicle, an automobile brand, those cars have to stay relevant. You have to keep up with the times. You have to keep up with ever-changing technology. Personal brands, you have to stay relevant. You have to stay in people's faces. You have to continue to demonstrate that you are an authority. That's one of the hardest parts about building a personal brand. Whereas like with a regular business brand, that's not a personal brand, it's product-based or something. A lot of times you can have teams in place to make sure, you don't have to be there for a content shoot for the new car that you've released or the new vehicle that your company has dropped for this year. You don't have to do anything. You hear about it later. You see the reports later. But if new content has to be created, you have to show up. You have to look good. You have to know your stuff. You've got to be ready. You got to deliver in a way that connects. Like everything just has to make sense.
Yep. We got this podcast. It's dope. But we both know that it's because we've got momentum and we're keeping the momentum. But if we want to keep the momentum, we've got to keep working.